Hello, hello, hello. This is Nurse Laconda coming back to you guys. I haven't been around in a long time. I just want to make an updated video. I don't think I've made a video since, it's been a minute. But I just want to go through my journey. People who've watched me in the past know that I was doing on call. I was working as an on call nurse on some weekends. Let me turn this fan down. It's kind of, I'm outside. This is Chicago. It's about 90 degrees today, if I'm not mistaken. Um, in this in Illinois, it's about 90 degrees. So last time I came on, I was discussing how I was doing the clipboard app and doing different things to try to make some side money besides my work from home job. I work from home 4 days a week. For a I work from home 4 days a week as a nurse case manager, and I started doing extra jobs on the side. I left my on-call job that I did for hospice. I used to do an on-call job for hospice, and I worked there since 2015. I worked there, but I left there last year. It was a bunch of reasons why I left. My son was having surgery and they really didn't want to give me the time off, and then I was considering leaving just because how bad the city of Chicago, well, for somebody who was born and raised in Chicago, you kind of know, like somebody who don't live in Chicago would be like, it's always bad in Chicago, which, okay, but you know, when you grew up and you born and raised here, you kind of know how to maneuver the streets of Chicago. So even though, you know, it's always been a dangerous city, you could say, in some parts, but now even the good parts or so-called good areas, you got to be careful. But I left because growing up in Chicago, usually if people did do things, it would be consequences to, you know, if somebody carjacked somebody or robbed somebody, or let's just give an example, somebody, you know, did some type of harm to somebody. Usually somebody, you know, usually justice would happen. But recently, these last years or so, people would be doing things like carjackings and they just won't get caught. So I just decided to not do on call anymore, where I had to go to different neighborhoods. Like when you do on call, and I did it for the city of Chicago, you might have to go one day, let's give you an example, to O Block. O Block is a place where the infamous O Block is in the raps in Chicago. If you know about Chief Keef, he grew up in O Block. Lil Durk, all them, they from that area. King Von, and actually I grew up with King Von's daddy. That used to be my boy back in the days. Rest in peace. So of course I'm a Chicago person, so I know all about those areas. So you might get a call in those different areas. To some people, they'll be like, I'm not going no damn O Block, but you know, and you know, those type of areas intimidate some people. So, and then the next day or the next hour, you might get a call downtown on Magnificent Mile on Michigan Avenue to see somebody that's rich. But so that was what was going on. So I left my on-call job, which I really liked, and just because of the dangers in the city of Chicago was the reason why I left my hospice job. Hopefully one day I could go back. I don't know, but I did give them a notice. I gave them a way far in advance notice that I was leaving, and that was actually a job that I really liked as a nurse, but it was just like I said, and it was just, man, it was just getting it was just too dangerous. It really is. I'm trying to see a way to say this stuff without being offensive or you know, or people question anything, because some people might say, you know, Chicago been bad. Well, all of a sudden, Chicago has been a city that people who don't live here think is really bad. But when you grew up and you know Chicago streets, you know what's bad, you know what's not. But now the lines are blurred. Like you know, usually you know, like, oh, I'm not going over there. I'm not going in that area. You know that area. You know they be on BS in that area. You know you're not going. But now, no area, even the rich areas, are questionable now, because the people who's doing the carjackings and things like that, they're going everywhere now. So I just don't want to put myself at risk for any harm. So that was the main reason why I left my on-call job, for safety issues. And like I said, I even made a video about doing home health nursing and going to people's houses in the city of Chicago. And that video still stands true. It was when I first started making videos. It's not a lot of views on it, but that video is true to what I was saying, how you're supposed to maneuver, because those things do and has happened. So things has happened. So what I say in that video about not making phone calls in front of people's houses, or parking, not trying to call people while you park in areas you don't know, trying to do paperwork and things like that in areas you don't know, I still stand true to that. If you still do home health, I feel like that in every city. I feel like you should listen to those suggestions wherever you live at. But let's keep going. So I left my on-call job and I signed up for a nursing contract job. And it was hell. So, and the reason why I say it was hell, it wasn't because of the work or the people or anything. It was because I was doing two jobs. I was doing my other job 4 days a week, and then I do that job those other days during the contract. And the good thing about, I was at a local hospital. Literally, this hospital was literally 5 minutes from my house. So that was a pro, that the hospital was so close, and it was literally down the street from my mom's house. So that was very much a pro. And the other pro was, it wasn't hard or anything, and the manager did go by the days you told her, because she knew a lot of the girls had other jobs. So she would ask you what days can you work, and you would give it to her, and she would most likely give you those days. And so I did like that part. It was just tiresome for me, but I had a goal that I was trying to accomplish, if you saw my other video. So I did do it. And so the first contract I did, it went okay. The first contract, it went okay. So they was like, do you want to extend? And I'm like, oh yeah. Why the hell did I do that? I think I should just stuck with that one, took a break, and maybe came back a little later. But I did two back to back, and that's what the issue was. I did two contracts back to back. So when it was time for me to end my contract, they asked me did I want to extend, and I extended the contract another 13 weeks. And that right there, 26 weeks, that was too much for me. That was too much for me. So they came to me again when I was going to end the contract, and they was like, do you want to extend? And I'm like, no, I can't extend. I got a lot of stuff going on. I know my daughter was graduating out of high school, one of my daughters, and I knew we was going on vacation, our family vacation that we do almost every year. And I just didn't want to, I know nobody would give me all that time off. So I took a break, and so I've been done since May. And now I signed up to do per diem. Per diem is, and that's at another local hospital. That's just when you want to work. You just tell them when you want to work, and they put you on the schedule. Either if they got too much staff, sometimes you will get canceled. So it's not a for sure thing. But most of the time, hey, they let me. I just started a couple of weeks ago, but I've been picking up, and they've been giving me the days. So but you do get canceled sometime. So the pros to the contract was that for sure money, because I think through the whole 26 weeks, I got canceled one time through 26 weeks. They canceled me one night, and that was the hell it. I never got canceled again after that. And I called off one time because I had a death in the family, and so I didn't call off really. I'm not a call off person, so if I'm gonna work, I'm gonna work. But I did have a death, so I did call off that one time on the weekend. On one of the days of the week, I didn't even call off the whole weekend. So, and then the funeral happened to be on the day that I was off, so I didn't really have to call off. The nurses, I met a lot of new nurses that I'm cool with, and we text each other still to right now. That I met over there. The nurses was pretty much cool, I would say that. Everybody was friendly. Nobody was on, I worked at a hospital in Illinois, and I'm not gonna say the name of it, for 20 something years. And that hospital had a lot of, I'm not gonna even bring it up, but compared to that hospital and compared to what I just did my contract at, the nurses was very cool, friendly, and they wasn't on BS. And I'm talking about all races. The other hospital I worked there for a long time, 20 some years, I can't say the same. But the pros for that contract was, it was close to my home. She gave me my days. It wasn't hard. I did night shift, and let me tell you something. I haven't worked night shift since the beginning of my nursing career. I always did day shift as a RN, okay, and as a CNA. I did night shift for the first, I think, 3-4 months when I first became a nurse, and I could not hack it. My manager put me on days because one day I was giving report. We used to get reports on a recorder, and for the next shift. And I fell asleep through the whole report. I was knocked out snoring in the I was snoring in the recorder. So that nurse had to call me at home. I didn't even realize it. She had to get a report for me. I think I gave it to her on my way home or when I got home or whatever, because she didn't get no report from me. And my manager was cool because, these people that I worked with over there, it had their pros and cons too with that, but my manager, she was cool, and I had been working with her for so long, even when I was a CNA and she was just a nurse on the floor. So we had a good relationship. So when she became a manager and I became a nurse, she already knew what type of person I was. She knew I was a good worker. She just said, LaConda, you have to go on days. You can't handle night shift. You just had a baby, because I had just had a baby. And so she put me on days. So I was on nights, I think, about 3 months out of my nursing career since 2004, okay? And so now I'm doing nights as when I pick up, and it's not bad. And I promise you, I don't want to do days. Night shift is cool. You do what you got to do. Half of the time they sleep, and you do your work, and that's it. Day shift is too chaotic. I did orientation on days, and I did not like it. The nurse I was with, she was very unorganized. And so sometimes people don't realize how old I am, because I'm not bragging, but I got a young face. But I'm in my 40s. But people think I'm young when they see me. They think I'm a young person, and they don't be knowing I've been a nurse probably longer than them. They don't realize how old I am. And I don't divulge my age with people because it's not their damn business. But sometimes, so this nurse, she was just who I was on training with, because I started a per diem job. I had to be on orientation for a day, and she was just so, I learned nothing, and I don't need to learn nursing. I just need to know processes here at that facility, how they do things, how many times they chart, when they chart, what they chart, blah blah. I don't need to know anything else. And I couldn't get nothing out of that woman, because she was just all over the place. Like, literally, she was all over the place. So I had to literally learn when I went and worked. I had to learn. And luckily, the system that they was using, which is called Cerna, the hospital that I worked at 20 some years, we used Cerna before they went to Epic. So I remembered how Cerna went. So I wasn't really, messed up, because I already knew how Cerna went. I just need to know their, what they wanted me to do in Cerna. So, yeah, so I've been doing per diem days. Pick up, I call and say, look, could I work this weekend and this weekend? And they say, yeah, I'll put you on the schedule. And that's how I've been doing it lately. But I don't think I'll be doing any contracts anytime soon. The girls at the hospital that I did my contract at, they want me to come back that work there. They was like, you ain't coming back. I said, I might, because it's so close to home, but not right now. And if I do, I would not do 2 contracts in a row. I would do 1, and hopefully I'll get that same manager that I had that agrees to my days, because I do work another job. I work from home 4 days a week as a case manager. But doing bedside nursing is not that bad, and I particularly don't want to go back to school for a nurse practitioner or anything like that. I have my friends, they are working with me. They are doing contracts just like me, and they are nurse practitioners because the money is better. So I have no urge to go back to school for anything with nursing. Now, anything else I might, but not for nursing. I think I'm okay with my bachelor's, and I'm okay with that. Now I do want to go back for my master's, but in something else, not in nursing. It's really not more, unless you're going back to school for a higher degree like nurse practitioner, FNP, blah blah blah. Just getting a master's degree really not gonna most likely increase my pay anywhere, because like I said, I met new girls with the contract that worked at the hospital with me. They had their master's degree. They made the same amount as me with my bachelor's degree. And so I really don't feel that going back to school, getting my master's degree, unless I'm going back for nurse practitioner, FNP, would benefit me. Now, I'm not saying I don't, at this time in my life, I say no. I'm in my 40s. My kids are, my youngest is 16 now. I don't know what the future might hold. I might have a whole different mindset next year, or the year after that, or the year after that. But at this point in time in my life, I do not want to go back to school for anything right now, but especially for nursing. But I do want to do something in the future to get my master's. But with that being said, so like I said, the pros was working close with a local contract. A local hospital contract was a pro. The manager was a pro because she was nice. Honestly, the management staff was very nice there. I would give it to them, because when you are an outsider, and the nurses that work there, they sometimes, and it's not all nurses. Some of the nurses want to dump on the agency nurses, like, well, they agency, they do this, they get that, they want to give you the worst of the worst. And the manager, and see, what they was doing was, they was giving me all, like, the admissions. I would get the admissions. They did rotate it, but I'm gonna get the first one, okay? And then if it go back around, I'm gonna get the next one. But I'm okay with that, but one time, this is what I wasn't okay with. Now, I got an admission. It's supposed to go all the way around through the nurses. They skipped a few nurses and brought it back to me. And I didn't even go say nothing. Another nurse, a staff nurse, went and talked to the manager about it, and she said something to them like, fair is fair. I understand I'm agency, but let's be fair. I got 6 and you got 4. Come on now, that's not fair. And that's not fair. But you know what? God don't like ugly. And the energy you put out, it comes back around to you. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But other than that, I had no problem with the nurses. All the nurses to me was cool. I just had that one incident that I really didn't appreciate. But the manager, she was cool. She was assistant manager, I'm sorry. The assistant manager was really, really cool. And she kind of said something. She was like, yeah, they told me what they did to you the other night, and I said something to them. She said, they know they don't supposed to do that. And they knew that I was a nurse that did not complain. I was agency. They had agency nurses complaining like hell over there, okay? I never complained. I came in, did my job, and I got the hell out of there. I was not a complainer. I didn't complain about nothing. I don't care. But when you ain't going to play me, though, okay? We're not going to play those type of games. So that was the only thing that I had bad with the contract. That was the con by, playing games with those admissions. Everybody got to get one. Everybody got to get one, unless it's some extreme circumstances, then, things change. But it wasn't in the case that I was in. It was just people like, I'm gonna dump on agency because that's what she is. And that's not fair, because if I wasn't here, your ass to have more people than that. Okay, so let's look at it like that too, because agency come in and they take the place of a body. Okay, so don't dump on agency nurses. You know, it's okay to give me the first admission. I'm okay with that if that's what y'all want to do. But they even stopped doing that, because she said if you got first this night, the next night you work, you get last. You know, she was doing that, the assistant manager. I really liked her. She was a cool lady. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the manager was too. They was cool. I go back just because how cool they was, because like I said, I worked at a hospital for 20 some years, and I had several management staff, and some of them was really, really cool, and some of them sucked. Okay, they showed favoritism. They played the race card. Though they played not the race card, but they played racial games. That's all I'm gonna say. So she was real cool. She was fair. She asked me what I needed, and she asked me, was it okay? And I like people like that, because she was willing to work with you. Now her first priority is the staff, and I understand that. So if she can't do it, she can't do it, and that's understandable. But she would ask you, and she would try to compromise, and I did like her for that. And yeah, I really liked her for that. So I will go back just because the nurses was cool, the management team was cool, and the hospital was cool. I liked the hospital. It was so close. The hospital was you know, some hospitals are dated. That one wasn't. It was up to date. They had Epic. Epic is one of the newer systems that all the hospitals are using that. But yeah, so that would be the reason why I would go back to a contract, would be because of those reasons I just stated. The reasons why I wouldn't go back to a contract is because I did not have any freedom. I had some days where I did do stuff, and you know, but it was like I had to really be on top of it. Like, it was no more how I do now, like on a whim. I work from home when I get off. When I'm done work from home, like I'm in my backyard. I work from home in my backyard in the summertime with a fan blowing on me. I'm in my this is my woman cave, okay, till my husband get home from work. So now I'm free. If I want to do something, I get off, boom, I do it, blah blah blah. And the weekend, if I got something to do, I do it. If I don't got something to do that weekend, I call and see if I can work. So I like that type of freedom. I don't really like where I can't do much. But I had a goal that I was trying to accomplish, and I did accomplish the goal, and that's was it. So I gotta thank God for that. But yeah, that's why I've been since I made that last video about clipboard, and I haven't been able to do any clipboard, but I am going to be, now that I'm not in the contract. I am, and it still pops up on my phone, all available shifts. Now what I'm gonna say is though, the reason why I haven't picked up a clipboard since I've been out of that contract in May, because this is June 30th now, the pay, it's like the pay done decreased with clipboard, baby. Like, what is going on? Like, it's going down. I'm like, now if they get desperate, one day I saw a shift for $1,000. It was like $1,100. But I was just too tired, honey. I had kicked it all day, and I saw that it was like an emergency shift. It was 11 to 7 a.m. And they sent it out at, like, I guess somebody called off the last minute. They was thirsty, baby. That shift kept popping up. I'm like, ooh, this will be some good money right here. But I was just too tired. I wouldn't have made it all night. I had did a lot that day, and I was like laying down, finna go to sleep when I saw the shift. And so now that was good, but usually I haven't been seeing the pay hasn't went. And you know, anybody who does clipboard, it's mainly I think it's only long-term care, which can be a little challenging if you're used to just doing acute care. Like I said in the past, I have been an acute care nurse since my entire career. Only time I worked in a long care setting was when I was a manager, and I was only in management. I did not take care of patients in long-term care. But when I did do clipboard in long-term care, it wasn't bad. It's just you gotta be on it, baby. You gotta be on it. And then by the time you look around, it's time to go home. So it wasn't bad, and I am open to it, but the money got to be a little bit better than what they've been putting up there. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna be making videos. This video was just to get back in the groove of making videos. I'm actually making this video on my phone and not on my camera because my camera is acting up. That Sony ZV-1, I don't know about that. It had good reviews and a lot of people like it, but I don't know if I got a bootleg one or what, because it give me problems. But anyway, stay tuned for my next video. I'm gonna be doing a video on an incident that happened in Chicago lately that I could relate to. Oh my God, is the wind gonna blow me away out here in my backyard? Maybe so. But anyway, stay tuned, and I'm gonna make another video soon. And please, if you want to see me come back, I don't know, you might not want to, you might want to, but if you want to, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. I know I've been slacking on comments lately. People be asking me about come on my case management video and be commenting, and oh, congratulations to all the people that passed their CCM exam. All the people, shout out to you who passed their CCM exam. I know that test is not easy because I took it, and congratulations to everybody who took that test and passed it. But like my video, comment, and share it if you want to, and subscribe to my channel so I can continue to make videos. Thank you so much.